So project management, from PMI standpoint, has a very set path and direction that it goes from. Of course, initiating those ideas, planning, getting things lined out, taking care of and executing the task list that you have, and then controlling the variables, the resources, avoiding risks, preparing to and fighting against the challenges that come within a project, and then finally closing it out for success. These are some of the bases of what a project is for PMI. These steps are never hard-bound steps. They're kind of flow in the direction towards how your project is going to work. So what is a project? Projects are bound by a temporary specific date to start and a date to end, time bound. That's how we typically look at a project. The other thing that happens with a project is it has some end desired results. That results is what you hope to have happen as at the completion of the project. Now, David Allen, in his book, Getting Things Done, also talks about a project being something that requires multiple steps. That's kind of inherent in the size of projects that we talk about here. Now, notice that it has an end date. Projects that don't have an end date aren't projects at all. They're a program. And so that's what some of us are involved as we look in this business. So what are the key components of a successful project? Completion, end date on time, within budget, getting the results that you desire, knocking off all of the tasks together. So with that said, we're going to go look at this outline just a little differently. So there it is, again, initiating, planning, executing, controlling, closing, and having success are the project management skills for life that we hope that you'll gain through this process. I also wanted to kind of go over and look at this presentation. There's a couple other visuals that just make good sense for us. This idea of a triple constraint diagram is important to understand. That in every project, there's going to be time, there's going to be constraints, and to what level of quality. So using certain types of tools will enable more of this for you. Cost, budget's always going to be there. Only so much of it always will be there. And what it comes to level is so important. Those are triple constraints. Jokingly, people say, "Well, give me any two. Give me the cost, give me the cost and the time bounds, and then I'll decide the scope." Or you take the time, how much time you're going to give me, and you decide the quantity that the quality that you want, what you want to have done, and the quality you want it at, but give me the budget. And I can control that. See, so you have this constraints that are always playing with each other as you're working with a project. So that's important to know. Also, I wanted to kind of go down here, a couple other items just toward the end of this presentation. I wanted you to kind of take a look at one of these. There are such things called critical paths that get in the way or as you're working through. And a critical path method allows you to identify the path that's dependent on the time frame. There's also milestones where you have certain marks that you come to, certain places you hit, and those milestones, of course, are important accomplishments within your project. This is the larger scale type of project that we were talking about where you have a formal solution. So as you get to the end of a project, wrapping it up and closing it out the best way possible is important so you have that cool, tight success. So here it is in the way that PMI describes it. This is a course that they've put together for youth. I've also gone about this myself and kind of played with the idea of project management and put it into a mind map that I really enjoyed playing with. And this is what mine looks like. I think you've seen this already. The idea is you start with an idea, you initiate the project, you plan. Notice you're bringing people aboard as you initiate. And then as you're planning, you're identifying all the steps possible. Then you execute those steps and you're dealing with the devil in the details. You're having the good, the bad, the ugly. Some people are stretched out of shape, I keep saying. You're crying tears as you're trying to control all these variables. And finally, you pull it to close. And as you come to close, some people are leaving. As they're leaving, they may not be as motivated. In fact, for some projects, getting that last 5 to 10% done is harder than the entire project because you have a lot of excitement at the beginning and the motivation is there, and then it drags off as people come to the close. They start to wonder what they're going to do next. Are they involved or not in the project? what's their role? Their work's done, and now what? Will they have a job? So they start looking for additional work, you see. So this project management flow you need to be aware of as you're working within projects. As you have ideas and you see if they're feasible or not. As you envision and share that vision. Are there people going to come along with you, or are they not? And what level of commitment are they willing to make? Notice in the planning stages here, you're going to negotiate what works for you and what works for them. It's going to be important to move that forward. So project management in terms of producing a product becomes huge. So you need to consider some of these characteristics as you go forward. So I've stayed on the PMI side of things. We're going to take a little break from that now. We're going to go look at the personal project management using some tools, and we're going to look at how those can be leveraged as you go into the public kinds of a project, and then we'll look at the flexibility that you have with the agile project management and wrap up this discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the recording for now. Thank you.